Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really good today. So I figured I would do a video on the Line 6 Helix, and I haven't done any content with this product in quite some time. In fact, the last time I did anything with the Helix was several months ago when I uploaded a bunch of presets to Line 6's marketplace and used my new impulse responses with them. And by the way, thank you so much, everyone who's been purchasing those. I really appreciate that. I've been getting a lot of good responses on those. A lot of people have been emailing me and letting me know how much they like them, so I appreciate that very much. And for all you metalheads, you're going to like this one even more. This one is ridiculous. So let me give you a little backstory. So a couple weeks ago, I was at Motor City Guitar just hanging out there, and a guy came in and purchased a Helix. And I started thinking, like, wow, people are still buying these, you know? And don't get me wrong, this is no disrespect to Helix or Line 6 or anybody, but you know how it is with tech. I mean, you know, modelers, tech, you know, anything techy is, you know, considered kind of old news after a couple years, let alone 10 or 12 years, you know? So the Helix has been out for several years at least. I think it came out in 2015. So we're looking at almost 10 years here that it's been out. So, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, like, when's Line 6 coming out with a new version of the Helix? And as you guys know, Eric Klein from Line 6 basically said there's not going to be a new Helix for a while. You know, and he even doubled down on it and said, naysayers be damned. You know, so he's fully confident that the Helix is still a relevant product. Even though some people like me in the back of our heads are always thinking, like, well, it's been out for almost 10 years. I mean, it's kind of old hat, especially considering all of the other modelers and profilers that are out there. I mean, there's ToneX, there's Quad Cortex, KEMPER's got the new player coming out. Headrush came out with something recently, even though it's a huge swing and a miss in my opinion. But there's a lot of new stuff that's coming out. So, you know, when you compare that to the Helix, which has been out for a long time, I think a lot of us probably think in the back of our minds, like, yeah, the Helix is kind of, you know, like old tech at this point. But I'm here to change your mind if you think that way. And my mind was changed last night when I, you know, just got a wild hair up my ass. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to update this thing. They did an update, I don't know, it was a while back. And I never updated mine. So I updated it. And there's some new amps in there. One of them's called the Oblivion, I believe. And I was like, well, let me check it out. I read up on it, and it seems like a high gain amp. And, you know, so I said, you know what? I'm going to make a preset and see how brutal I can make this thing sound. I'm going to put everything I got into this preset and make sure that this sounds brutal and nasty as I can get it. So I did. So I made the preset and I put my own IRs in there, which are actually available on Line 6's marketplace. It's the Tone Wars Essential IR Pack. And I basically did some impulse responses of my Zilla cab, my Diesel, and my Mesa cabs, and I used the Royer 121 paired with the Shure SM57, and man, these are big, fat, nasty impulse responses. The feel is great, and you got tons of aggression, and they sound like my real cabs. They're not all homogenized and overly processed like a lot of the IRs are out there these days. And there's a great realistic sound with them. You just got to do the high and low cuts respectively on them to your taste, and they're going to sound amazing. So I took two IRs, one of the Zilla DV77 and the Mesa V30, and put them in this preset, and man, it just sounds incredible, and it's super aggressive. And this amp that they modeled, I don't know which one it is. I think it's a Line 6 original. I think it sounds freaking awesome. I think they did a great job with this. And you heard it in the mix that I opened the video up with. So I was really surprised. You know, when I said all the things at the beginning of this video, and I said, yeah, it's old tech, blah, 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 I don't mean any disrespect to Line 6 or the Helix at all. It's literally just something that people think in general about tech that's been out a while, you know, and again, like almost 10 years, that's a long time, especially when you consider it's tech, you know. So anyways, I just want to make sure I was clear on that. I'm just being real with you guys here, you know. So I spent a lot of time just really carefully sculpting and dialing in this preset and making sure everything sounds right with it and the feel is really good. I listened to it on my speakers that I use for my my computer desk over there, and I also listened to it on the Cali Audios out here. I had 2 pairs of Cali Audios. I got the IN8s out here, and I have the new ones, whatever, out on the desk. And man, this thing just sounds incredible. And I'm listening to it through my in-ears as well, and there's nothing bugging me about it at all. My ears are really happy with everything, and my hands are too. The feel is really great. And you get 8 different snapshots on this, and I put in the effects and dialed everything in so it all sounds great in a full mix. So you can literally just put this in your Helix and use it, and you probably won't have to adjust anything. And if you do have to make adjustments, they're going to be very small ones. By the way, I'll be uploading this preset to Line 6's marketplace tonight, and it should be available within 24 to 48 hours. There's a process that it has to go through with them, but it'll be available very soon, and I highly recommend that you get it. Not because it just benefits me, but it really is a great sounding preset. So let's quickly go over the snapshots that you get with this right now. You get 8, and I'll just go through them all for you right now. So let's start out with the crunch preset, which is just, the overdrive and the amplifier. Man, that just sounds incredible. And then you got big crunch, where I put some chorus and modulated delay on it. I love modulated delay, especially for rhythms, because it just adds a little more flavor to it, And then you have the lead preset, which is basically, the overdrive, the amp, and of course the delay. It's a ping pong delay, so it's stereo, and here's how it sounds. Very cool. Bumped a string there. Oh well. And here's the phase lead with a phaser on it. Okay, and then I gave you some other stuff. Oh, the vibe lead. I think you guys would really dig this. In fact, you'll hear this in a mix in a second here. So the vibe lead has that, the modulated delay on it to give you a little bit of a, a different vibe, So if you're just doing some intermittent riffs, which I will display in this song coming up here, it just adds that really cool vibe to the repeats as you're waiting to come in again and do something else. So pretty tasty. I put a little bit of reverb on it as well, which is, the searchlights. That's my favorite reverb on the Helix. So let's listen to that real quick. Yep, just adds some nice flavor to all that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd throw that in there. And then, I did one with some reverb. I think this is just a rhythm patch with some reverb on it. I really love searchlights. It's like I said, it's my favorite reverb. It's a lot of fun to listen to. And I know it sounds corny, a lot of fun to listen to. It is, it's cool, man. When you end something and then you got this cavernous reverb come after you and it, and it's like, it just adds this really ominous sound to something. So it's pretty cool. And then a flanger. And I left the reverb on that. And then a washy phaser. You know, I thought that was pretty cool with the reverb as well. As you hear it decay, it's got that phaser on it still. So, or flanger, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think it's a, who cares? It's on there. I don't know what the hell it's called anymore. I did so much to this thing. All you have to do is just download it into your Helix and, and play it. So you don't have to worry about all that. But anyways, there's a lot of cool effects, and the snapshots are in there, everything. It's just a badass preset. And honestly, I did this as an experiment, you know, and I was just like, let me just see how nasty I can get the Helix to sound. It's been a while. It's been several months at least, you know, since I've dialed in a preset or anything. And with the combination of me dialing in this amplifier, putting the effects in, and most importantly, the right IRs and having them dialed in the right way, I mean, this just sounds phenomenal. It's easily the best I've ever heard my Helix sound anyways, and I really think you're gonna like this. So like I said, it started out as an experiment, but it turned out so good, I'm like, I'm uploading this to the marketplace because this sounds just too good for me to keep for myself. So here's another song that you guys can listen to, so you can check out this preset and some of the snapshots that will be labeled while you're listening to it. So I'm just selling the preset for $12.99, and you know, go on their marketplace and keep checking, and it will pop up in there very soon. So I really think you're going to like this. So the other thing I want to say is, when I first heard Eric Klein say, like, oh, we don't need to come up with anything new, and the Helix is still doing really well and all this kind of stuff, there was a part of me that was like, I don't know, man, with all the new stuff coming out, I think it's probably a good idea for you guys to release something soon, you know, and come up with a new product, because, you know, everybody wants to keep up with the times. But man, I don't think the Helix is at all irrelevant. I think it still has plenty of life in it, and with this, you know, this preset that I made here proved to me that the Helix still kicks ass. I would easily go on stage with this thing right now and not have a problem with how it sounded, or if the way it felt or anything. I mean, it sounds incredible. So I think there's still some years left in the Helix before they come up with a new one. And yes, I want them to come up with something that does profiling and stuff like that. But for now, I think the Helix stands really well on its own, and I still think it sounds amazing. So I'm glad I did this, and I got schooled by the Helix last night. I was literally blown away with how good it sounded. So what are your thoughts on the Helix? And if they do come up with something new sometime soon anyways, what are you hoping they do with the next one? I mean, as for me, I'd like to see a touch screen, and I'd also like to see it do profiling. Other than that, I think it's great. The effects, everything in here, especially effects-wise, is more than most of us could ever hope for anyways. And, you know, I'll say this too. Since I didn't use this for a while, and, you know, I kind of, you know, reacclimate myself to it, it was very easy to get back into it and do everything. It was super simple. And I like some of the different options they give you now. You know, with the IRs, you can do dual IRs now. It just makes it a lot easier. The way you adjust things and save things and dial in the snapshots and label everything, it's just incredible. It really is. There's nothing I would change about it regarding workflow and stuff like that. I think they did a great job with it. And it's got, like I said, plenty of life in it. And there's some things that they did with this that I think some other companies can learn from, because they did a great job with the workflow on this thing. Still one of the best interfaces out there to this day. Well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, I really appreciate it. And to everyone who's been purchasing my Line 6 presets and my ToneX, Quad Cortex, and KEMPER profile packs, I really appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with another episode. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.